Back to the start. Dusty soul.
Park the whip where the pavement splits open. Heavy air tastes like iron and rainwater. Looking at the brickwork where we carve names. Back when the crew was a small battalion. New boots hitting the ground with a rhythmic thud. Everything seems smaller but the weight is heavy. No armor needed when we ran these alleys. Just the salt of the earth and loose change. Milk crates turned into thrones for the kings. We didn't need a map for this terrain. Memory hits like a blunt force to the chest. Stained glass windows reflecting the gray sky. Looking for faces that the years took away. I see the ghost of a younger version, running through the sprinkler like a wild horse. Dusty soul trapped in a filtered jazz loop. The soil is the same, but the crop changed. Old stomping grounds where we learn the tactics. Back to the origin to find a balance. Roots deep under the cracks, street level. The soil is the same, but the crop changed. Old stomping grounds where we learn the tactics. Back to the origin to find a balance. Roots deep under the cracks, street level. Corner store still has the same rusted signs, hanging by a thread like our old innocence. Used to split the bread and keep the peace. Tactical movements through the back parking lots. The sirens and the blue flashing lights. Before we knew the cost of the hardware, hardened exterior started in these very yards. Building the shell to survive the cold winters. Handball court bears the marks of the struggle. Thick smoke drifting from a brick chimney. Looking for the piece I left in the pocket of a worn out jacket from a decade ago. Still standing tall like the oak in the center. Weathered by the storm, but the foundation is solid. No need for words when the vibe is understood. Just a quiet walk through the old territory. The soil is the same, but the crop changed. Old stomping grounds where we learn the tactics. Back to the origin to find a balance. Roots deep under the cracks, street level. The soil is the same, but the crop changed. Old stomping grounds where we learn the tactics. Back to the origin to find a balance. Roots deep under the cracks, street level.